Welcome to a new episode of Friday Night Sports Show. I'm Jonathan Gold, and I'm here with
Cody Fellman.
And on our first episode today, we're having a special guest,
Kenny Daly.
So, Kenny, you're a player on varsity. Playoffs are coming up. Games tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the main gym against the Green Dragons. What's the team's mentality going into it right now?
I mean, we already beat them twice, but that doesn't matter. Everyone's record 0-0 right now. If you lose a game, you're out. So all week we've been practicing hard, and it's a big game, first playoff game as our team. So we really got to come out and show that we're a good team.
What's the emphasis been for the team this week in practice? I know you've had you don't usually get this much time leading up to a game. So what has really been the conversation?
I think it's just been executing on offense and playing with energy on defense. I mean, in the county, we score the most points per game. So we know that we can play good offense. We just need to run our stuff and play simple. And on defense, when we play with energy, we can be the best defensive team in the county too. So we just need to focus on those two things.
Now, there was 2 all-county players, 3 all-conference, and Trevor Amalfitano did win Player of the Year. How has those awards for those two county, 3 conference, and 1 Player of the Year impacted the team heavily, especially going into the postseason?
I mean, we just have so many guys who can play. Like, there's multiple guys on our team who'd be the best player on other teams, but we have them all on our team. So it's not like Trevor won Player of the Year. Yeah, he's the best player on our team. But say he's an off night or against Baldwin, they were trying to face guard him and deny him the ball game. We were able to work it out, and the other guys were able to score and keep us in the game on offense.
How important do you think it is for the playmaking of other guys? Because usually you have someone that's all county or all conference, and they are in that position because they've been scoring so much, and it's this volume scoring. But really, when you see all these players getting awards and all the wins racking up, it's because they share the basketball. How important has the ball movement been to the team?
I mean, ball movement's our whole offense. You hear varsity media, they were talking about our offense, and they said it was beautiful how we moved the ball compared to Farmerdale. And I think that's a big reason why we've been so successful. I mean, we have 5 or 6 guys averaging above 6 points a game, which is unheard of in the county.
LI Sports Fanatic put out a tweet saying that Port was going to get eliminated in the second round. Does that really just add more fuel to the fire, and especially in practice, knowing that you want to prove your point that you're the best team, especially in Nassau County for public schools?
I mean, this week we've tried to focus on Westbury more than the second round, but definitely, I mean, he's just trying to say it to get some clicks, to get some views, but we just have to come out and prove to him that we're the best team. I mean, we got the 1 seed, so it just gave us a little more fire to add and a little more reason to play hard.
Against Westbury, big game on Saturday at home. What are you expecting for this big? Are you expecting a big crowd? Expecting a loud crowd? What are you expecting from the student section and everyone else?
I mean, it's a playoff game, so I expect some fans there, but it's also break. So, we just have to be ready for anything, and even if it's not our best showing, we'll be ready to play.
Now, the troops are going to be at every single game. They were established. How has their role impacted the home atmosphere?
I mean, this year it's been great. We played Baldwin in the middle of a week. I wasn't expecting that big of a crowd, and there's plenty of people there. It was maybe the loudest game of the year, and it's just been so much fun playing with that atmosphere, and really gets us ready for big games in the playoffs.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
We're going to switch gears. Kenny has left and gone back to the library to study. We're going to switch gears over to girls basketball as they have a good game against Baldwin coming up for the playoffs on the 20th. Cody, what are your views on that?
So the big thing with this one is that it's going to be an away environment, and they're going into Baldwin, which is not easy for any sports team in the school, really. But as a basketball team going into Baldwin, it's going to be really tough for them. But the thing about this team is that they're resilient. I think that they're going to be able to play with a chip on their shoulder. And knocking down threes has been very hit or miss this year. But I think that if some of the perimeter shooters, such as Taylor Shore, are able to catch fire in the away gym, they may be able to neutralize the crowd and then maybe pull off the 8-1 upset. It would be nice.
As you did mention, three-point shooting is going to be one of the big things that Port needs to continue. They have 2 all-conference players and 1 scholar athlete, and one of those players that you mentioned from the perimeter was one of their all-conference players in Taylor Shore, but also have in my opinion, one of their best players in the team is Ella Kane. She's been doing everything. She's their main facilitator. And they also have Sienna Fox, who committed to Binghamton for lacrosse, and she's been hitting bunch of threes. She's able to drive and hit post fades, all of that, and get the ball in the net.
Yeah, so between those two players, when I was at the games, I noticed that Ella Kane was making a huge difference when she was on the court. And so what I was seeing when I was there was the offense was not as good when the ball was not in her hands. So what I mean by that was not necessarily her shooting, but when she's driving and drawing fouls, and also when she's swinging the rock. Those are two things that Ella Kane does very well that I think are going to be vital to their offensive performance. And then also defensively, they're going to have to shut down, because when you let other teams get on runs, which is something that they did, especially in that Massapequa game, I was there calling the game, and they let them go on a run. And that's something that's not going to win you any games. But when Ella Kane did have the ball in her hands, when she was driving and drawing fouls, that's when the offense was at its best. And so that's why I think, from what I've seen, they can definitely beat Baldwin. They can definitely go in there, even as an 8 seed, and win the game.
Now, I want to go back earlier into the season. On my birthday, December 20th, the girls played Hicksville.
Happy belated, by the way.
Thank you. The girls played Hicksville and destroyed them 51-15. Even though that was earlier in the season, towards the beginning, how do you think just that thought, like knowing you can beat certain teams, even though it's against Baldwin, the number 1 seed, and they've been dominating all year, do you think just knowing that you've blown out opponents in the past, that can assist in a higher seeded opponent?
It's a confidence booster for sure. What I'm going to say is that it was very long ago. I don't think that it's on the top of their minds right now, but having that in the back of your head is always helpful for when you're in a clutch situation, when you're in a tight game. You know you can win. And when teams don't play with conviction, that's when they start losing. When they don't play with confidence, that's when they start losing. This team can play with confidence. We saw it in that game. They won 51-15. If they bring that confidence, they are going to be hard to stop. I do want to send it over to our DJ over there, Hudson Menzel.
What's up?
Hudson, what are you thinking about this weekend of, this week of playoff basketball coming up?
You know, it's interesting because we're down to the potential last few games, from what I'm aware of. And it's cool because you're going to see the players really work as hard as they can. They're going to try very hard. And these next few games decides the outcome of the season for Port varsity basketball.
I mean, that's how it usually goes. It's a one and done scenario. Win and move on. You lose, you go home. Now, if Port does manage to pull this one away and they beat Baldwin, they will be moving on to the semifinals at Farmingdale State University and will be playing in either the 12 o'clock slot or the 2 o'clock slot, and will be taking on the winner of Massapequa versus Uniondale.
There's some big names you're saying out there now. Good luck to all who are playing.
Thank you, Hudson.
That's
Hudson Knows Sports.
Hudson
for
Knows
anyone
Sports,
who's wondering.
available on Port Vikings, the Port Vikings Instagram account. That's
Yes,
at PORTVIKINGS.
And we thank you, Hudson, for joining in.
Anytime.
All right, JoJo. So this has been our first episode. Very exciting stuff. Got a nice week of playoff basketball coming up. And to all the Port Vikings students, enjoy some playoff basketball. Enjoy your break. And we'll see you next time.